I've got Ozzie on the line, another busy week, but I want to get right to the subject. What are the implications of the change in the administration? We've got both House and Senate. We've got Congresses, governorships, as I just alluded to. Ozzie, I want to start with, let's talk about the good, the bad for both U.S. and Canadian real estate. So I'm going to start with the U.S. Very quickly, what about the good for U.S. real estate in some of the things we've been hearing?
Well, certainly in general, the cutting taxes and huge deficits means more jobs and higher inflation. Investing in infrastructure, as you mentioned earlier, means new jobs, and all the areas where those new bridges and housing, all that's being built, will benefit. Investing in the military may help all the cities, say like San Diego, where both the military is located or the factories are located. But the big one is along the Keystone Pipeline. He likes pot, so he may nationalize it. So maybe read up on Denver as to how people made money there when it went national. He likes coal, that benefits coal-producing town. He is interested in more skilled workers, welders, plumbers, bricklayers, and he's looking for community colleges increasing. So buy real estate around colleges. That's actually one thing that we do when we buy in Phoenix. We like to be close to colleges or universities. What could be bad for the U.S. would be that the extra spending may raise rates faster than now expected. You alluded to that. We're going to have higher rates. He doesn't like green energy, so green energy producing towns and areas will be hurt. And then his promise to deport 11 million illegal workers, if he does, that will empty all the C buildings. In fact, when Arizona deported Mexicans in 2011, whole apartment buildings emptied out. So if you were in that area, and that was a worry, that's what I would take a look at.
Well, that's a lot of stuff coming at us, to consider. I mean, you've been on this since last Outlook conference last year, because you were talking about, strong potential of a Trump victory. And, as you say, the positives would be, the infrastructure spending. And it's what you always say, Ozzie, housing and real estate goes where the jobs are. So you look at those areas that are going to be a positive. But your last point's a very important one. What is going to happen in terms of illegal immigrants in that country? I always thought it was ridiculous what he was suggesting, by the way. You talk about a big bureaucracy involved. How are you going to do that kind of stuff? There's a list on that one, by the way. But very interesting, the impact on real estate that you just alluded to.
It's like a headline-grabbing headline. But, it's interesting. You mentioned the Outlook conference, a new one coming up. I can't urge your listeners enough to attend it. I mean, Martin Armstrong literally predicted it. He thought even the year before that we would have this huge turning point worldwide, right? And then again, you have been over and over predicting it. And I myself, my number one astounding prediction in 2016 on my 58-page Outlook report every year in January was Trump will win. And on May 23rd, my headline to my subscribers was, President Trump, get used to it. We just looked at the middle class, or just like Christy Clark was a surprise in NBC with all the pundits and the polls not working. So now the thing is, what's good for real estate in Canada, right, is also a big point. Yeah.
Well, I'm worried about some of the bad stuff here, I can tell you. We just talked about that softwood lumber dispute, and I know you're in agreement with that. That may be the sort of sacrificial lamb. He may be a deal maker, negotiator, etc., but that may be what he does to prove his sort of bona fides on this anti-trade stance he's taken.
100%. He'll want to score some brownie points, and he'll do it right away, in my view. I mean, as soon as he is in there, it is a messy area anyways. We've been in a dispute for 10 years. And so, the whole idea on who's right or who's wrong won't matter. He'll do that for sure. I'm convinced of it.
Yeah.
The NAFTA agreement,
and of course,
I would agree with.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, the NAFTA is the one that jumps out. That's the one that really has the broadest implications for the Canadian economy.
Yeah, no question. I mean, with 2.5 million Canadian jobs are dependent on trade with the U.S., with 23% of our GDP is derived from exports there. I mean, some 449 billion. 72% of Canada's exports go to the U.S., so this is a difficult, would be a very difficult thing. Now, he probably, while he canceled it quickly, we're still part of the World Trade Organization rules, so it wouldn't be that easy to disband it. And I think, one thing is rhetoric, another one is going to be the reality of it, putting it in between.
Let me come to the good side for Canada. I talked earlier in the show with Michael Levy about the Keystone Pipeline. I mean, he's been very strongly in favor of it. The Congress had already passed it. Mr. Obama vetoed it there. But obviously, maybe that's enough to revive over time some of the Edmonton, Calgary kind of real estate market, because that would be a big boom there.
100%. I mean, we're landlocked and we want access to international markets, as you pointed out. It will be approved. I mean, the House, the Representatives, the Congress, and Trump are all for it. It'll be renegotiated, but it will be approved. It'll benefit all producing provinces. I also think that the Americans will buy our real estate in larger numbers, not just because of Trump, but because our dollar is so low. We're cheap. And so maybe Toronto will really benefit, Montreal, but also Whistler, Victoria, Kelowna, wherever there is no tax. I think we certainly will welcome that. The interesting thing is that our metro region had some 16,000 immigrants in the last half year and 87 newcomers from other provinces, so they're expecting 34,000 people come to Vancouver. And anecdotally, the visits from Americans to the Real Estate Weekly website were up 226% on the day after the election. I don't know how meaningful that is, but clearly I think we will have some benefits. With the worldwide uncertainty, we are that safe country where people want to put their money, so that'll benefit real estate as well.
Well, we get to chant, "We're second choice, we're second choice," as they come across the border there. Ozzie, I got to take a break, so I'm going to tell people to go to Jurek.com. Ozzie will post a couple of hot properties for us there. Go to Jurek.com, click on the hot property button. Ozzie, great analysis. Nice. We're going to have so much more to talk about, as we know.
Thanks, Mike, and